We are so stupid as humans sometimes. Let me show you guys something. When Yeshua arrived at the other side of the lake in the Gadarenes territory, there came out of the burial caves 2 men controlled by demons, so violent that no one dared travel on the road. They screamed, "What do you want with us, Son of God? Have you come here to torture us before the appointed time?" Now, some distance from them, a large herd of pigs was feeding. The demons begged him, "If you are going to drive us out, send us into the herd of pigs." "All right, go," he told them. So they came out and went into the pigs, whereupon the entire herd rushed down the hillside into the lake and drowned. The swineherds fled, went off to the town and told the whole story, including what happened to the demonized men. At this, the whole town came out to meet Yeshua. When they saw him, they begged him to leave their district. Now, there's a whole thing with the pigs and the water, and just there's a lot of depth in this scripture that we could talk about. But there's something at just the surface level that really stood out to me this morning. So this scripture says that for a long period of time, there's a road that nobody could travel on. Like there's an area that's part of this town, that's part of this city, that no one could travel on because these demon-possessed men kind of roamed on this road. And so there's a whole territory that's just cut off to the city as a result of it. And then Jesus shows up and he clears the area, but there's a cost. There's a herd of pigs that are lost as a result of this process of clearing out this area. Now, what we don't know is whether they asked him to leave because of the pigs and like the loss of the pigs, or if they asked him to leave because of the demonstration of power and maybe they were just afraid, right? You know, it's kind of one of those things where this guy shows up and he's casting out demons and, you know, that freaked people out and they're like, whoa, you know, we don't want this in our town. Like we're trying to just chill here and you're over here causing problems. But regardless of the reason, I think the thing that really stood out to me this morning is this idea that there are areas of our life that are cut off to us. There are ways that we've oriented ourselves to life because there are parts of our life that are controlled by the demonic, that are controlled by desire, that are controlled by the broken things in us. And when the Lord comes to repair those areas, it's disruptive. You know, whether it's a thing of there's a cost to it, like he drives out the pigs, which in their world, that's a material cost to them. So for us, sometimes the repair, the cleaning up or the opening up of an area of our life comes at a cost. You know, it costs us our resources. It costs us our, a relationship or whatever it is, right? Or sometimes it's just disruptive. And the thing is that we as human beings, we don't like disruptive. Like we will literally keep demons around, right? Like we will keep demons around in our life to remain comfortable and maintain the status quo over allowing Jesus coming in to drive those things out because we just don't want the disruption. But that to me is the scariest part. Like, how many times has Jesus come into our life and tried to fix something, tried to open up a road that's been shut down for a long time because it's been controlled by the demonic or it's been given over. And he comes in and he tries to open up this road for us to free a part of our life. And we didn't like it. We didn't like the disruption. And so we resisted it, or we pushed back, or we asked him like, no, Lord, like leave that area alone. Right? I don't want this disruption. And he left. Like he just got up, got in a boat, and he was gone. Because that's the thing. Jesus isn't going to force you. He's not going to force you. He's going to come. He's going to say, hey, this is an area that we need to look at. Right? This is a road that's been closed down for too long. It's time to open this road back up. But if we don't like the disruption, if we don't want the price, he's not going to force it. If you're going to walk with Jesus, man, you got to get comfortable with disruption. You got to get comfortable with things getting shaken up every once in a while. You can't keep the status quo with him in your life. And I think that's one of the things that we miss sometimes. You know, we hear all these sermons, these preachers like, oh, when God comes into your life, it's all peace, right? And I'm like, man, did y'all not read the part where, Jesus is like, hey, let's go across the lake and then the storm comes, right? It's not like Jesus didn't know the storm was coming, or the time he comes and he casts the pigs out. It's a disruption, and walking with the Lord is disruptive. Jesus told a guy that wanted to follow him, "Let the dead bury their own dead. You come and follow me." Now, I'm not saying there's no peace. I'm just saying it's peace in the storm before it's peace from the storm. Don't let the status quo, don't let your desire for things to just not be bothered, to just not be disrupted, be the thing that causes you to drive Jesus out of your life. I'm not talking about salvation. That's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about like out of the transformative part of your life. There are so many roads in your life that are shut down, that have been controlled by demons for so long, and you're keeping them around because it's the devil, you know, and you're comfortable with it. And I get it. Like, guys, I get it, man. Like, life is hard. It's so hard to get to a place where things aren't just chaos, right? And when we get there, when we get to that comfortable spot, you know, when we get that comfortable pair of pants that it's like, man, I don't want to get a new pair of pants because these are comfortable, or this pair of shoes that I've broken in, or this, you know, this couch that I've gotten comfortable with, or this thing in my life that I've gotten comfortable with. We all have areas of our life that we've gotten comfortable with it. You know, we understand how it works. We know where it's broken. We know where it's fixed, right? And we just don't want to have to do the work of dealing with something new. But the thing is that we are meant to be new. Nothing in this life is going to last. It's all fading away. It's all passing. There is nothing in this life that we should get comfortable with. This is the garment that's folding up. This is the thing that is intended to be used. You know, there's a story where Jesus talks about it's not what goes into a man that defiles him, but rather what comes out of him. And it's interesting the way he describes this. He says, what goes into a person goes into the stomach and is destroyed. Right? Paul says something similar. He says, I'm convinced that there's no food that is that's inherently impure in and of itself, right? Because these are all things that are meant to be used, right? To be destroyed through use. These bodies, this life, everything in this life, this is all intended to be used, but it's all passing away. It's all going to roll up like a scroll when it's all said and done. And so nothing in this life is permanent. And so we shouldn't try to hold on to anything in this life or get comfortable with anything in this life, because this isn't the end. The goal is not to get comfortable here. The goal is to get comfortable there. People like to talk about being so heavenly minded that you're of no earthly good. But the reality is that if you're not heavenly minded, you really are of no earthly good, because the only thing that you have to offer the earth is what the earth already has. You're offering from your own flesh, from your own life, and that adds no value here. We need heaven to be here. What does Jesus say in the prayer? Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. That means that it has to start there and come here. But we're so focused on trying to get comfortable here that half the time we can't even get access to the things there to bring something of real value into the world, into our lives for that matter. So if Jesus shows up and he points out an area in your life and he says, hey, let's open this road up, man, don't resist it. Don't push back. Don't tell him, leave this alone, because the worst thing that could possibly happen is that he actually listens. Shh.